And ladies and gentlemen, welcome coaches and players. I'm Rob Schreier, and welcome to Hardwood Heroes, your source for Tri-Valley Conference basketball. It's been another action-packed week in the TVC, but Hardwood Heroes is here to break it all down. As the stretch run of the season is on the horizon, the conference races are beginning to take shape. And speaking of a conference race, the battle for second place in the TVC-Hocking went down tonight in Stuart, where the Lancers squared off against the Southern Tornadoes. And for more on that key conference clash, Carter Rodriguez and Brad Appleton were there. And guys, how did it all shake out?
Thanks, Rob. Now, the Lancers have dropped several close games in a row, and tonight was no exception, losing to Southern 67-62.
Well, that's right, Carter. And basketball really is a game of runs, and tonight Southern really illustrated that. They were down 10 points after the first quarter and then made an impressive 18-7 run to take the lead at half.
Yeah, and really what drove Southern offensively tonight?
Well, after that first quarter, they were able to break down the Lancers' defense and got to the basket several times, allowing for their players to get easy shots.
Players like Dustin Salzer and Sean Coppin. These two combined for 38 of their 67 points and were just invaluable for them tonight.
Exactly. Not only did they get those easy shots, they also made it to the free throw line several times. And Southern went 24 for 29 from the line compared to Fed Hawks 5 and 12. So free throws were definitely a factor tonight.
All right, and defensively, Tyler Thompson, he did not have a great game. He scored 14 points, but he never seemed in rhythm, and really, he didn't have the impact on the game that he normally does.
Right, and Southern's Colby Roseberry, he didn't really do it offensively tonight, but on defense, he shut Thompson down. Thompson's been getting easy looks all year, and Colby really eliminated those tonight.
All right, and what does this really mean in the grand scheme of things in the TVC?
Right, well, unfortunately for Fed Hawk, it kind of cushions Southern's second-place lead now and makes them that much closer to Eastern.
Yep, and Fed Hawk, you know, they've really dug themselves deep. It's going to take a lot of work to get out of this hole in the TVC if they want to come back and win it. You know, they've got Southern and Eastern high atop the standings. They've lost to Southern twice. You know, it's not going to be easy for them to get back.
Exactly. They're going to need a lot of help to get back on top of the TVC.
All right, from Stuart, Ohio, back to you, Rob.
And the TVC-Hocking race is just beginning to shape up. In the middle of the conference is packed with quality teams, but keep in mind the second leg of all the games still have yet to be played, so the jury is still out. And through action on Thursday, Eastern still remains atop the Hocking with a 6-0 mark, but Southern, Fed Hawk, and Trimble are all within clawing distance of the Eagles. The Tomcats are red hot, winners of 5 out of their last 6. And for more on the Tomcats, we're going to start with Adam Flango and also welcome Mark Pierce, who's joining us covering the Athens Bulldogs. But Adam, we'll start with you. First year, Kurt Morch has his team playing well, but how have they been playing so hard?
We know, Rob, they came into the year, the Tomcats, without a distinct style of play. But Coach Moore has instilled in them a blue-collar attitude. And this attitude really has served them well during this recent hot streak. Like you said, they've been winning. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games, and the Tomcats have come to play every single day, playing hard and diving after loose balls, and something that they really needed to do to win games. They had a loss previously against Athens, a top team in the TVC, but that loss really showed how far the Tomcats have really come. It was a really hard-fought battle, and in previous years, maybe that would be an easy W for Athens, but not this year, as the Tomcats really played well and played hard. And with Coach Moore on the bench, there's going to be a bright future in Gloucester.
Absolutely. Coach Moore's got that team playing well, and we hope to see more of that energy into the next months. But let's take a step aside from all the action for just a moment and take a look at some changes to Federal Hocking as we go from the bleachers with reporter Kristen Walters.
Thanks, Rob. This week we're looking from brand new bleachers as we see how Federal Hocking upgraded the gymnasium and their pride.
A gymnasium is like a sanctuary for a basketball program, but for Federal Hocking, their sanctuary needed some sprucing up. So Athletic Director John Murphy began some major renovations.
Probably started approximately 2 years ago. With the biggest main concern was the bleachers. For the old style bleachers were unsafe.
With the wooden bleachers being the major problem, not only do the new bleachers look first class, but they also make people's lives a little easier.
Best things about the new bleachers, we have wheelchair accessibilities for any of the fans and the parents, alumni, and there's no trash that gets on the floor underneath, so it's much easier cleanup for maintenance.
And they're easier for Murphy to put away too.
Everything had to be manually cranked, and now the modern things, you just press a button and the boards will go up and the bleachers will come out.
Federal Hocking's gymnasium now has new bleachers and new lights, and with new backstops on the way, they also have a new sense of pride.
It's very rewarding when you come in and people are, are happy. It's a great atmosphere for basketball. It always has been here at Federal Hocking. It's a sense of pride.
And just like that, the Lancers' home court advantage became a little homier.
And not all the renovations are complete quite yet, but you can expect to see new backstops and a Lancer painted in the center of the court by the time next season rolls around. Rob, back to you.
And I've been out at that gym already this new year, and it looks spectacular. They've got things for the Lancer fans ready to go. Everything should be in place, but if practice makes perfect, then we at Hardwood are well on our way to having a solid mid-range jumper game. So let's give our reporters some more reps with 15 seconds on the clock to answer some questions about TVC hoops. And let's welcome now both Pat Chiesa covering Nelsonville-York and Matt covering the Federal Hocking Lancers. We'll start with you, Pat. Nelsonville-York just had a 6-game homestand where the Buckeyes went 2-4. But how important are these next 3 away games?
Rob, the next 3 games for the Bucks will define whether or not they are the real deal in the TVC. They play Megs Friday. They have a huge game against the Athens Bulldogs in Athens on Saturday. And they travel to Alexander next Tuesday, the 26th, to take on the Alexander Spartans, which Blake Brody and I will get to a little later. But if I'm Coach Jay Klein, I'm going to be looking for at least 2 wins out of the next 3 games to keep the Buckeyes in contention for the TVC-Ohio crown. And Rob, you can bet that Michael Mitchell and company are going to be bringing heat to opposing gymnasiums for all 3 of the upcoming games.
Absolutely, Pat. And the TVC in Nelsonville just seems like everybody is in the hunt for that. But we're going to go back for some more mid-range jumpers, kind of get some better form. We're going to welcome. We're going to stick with Pat here. And Pat, for this team, they seem to do it as a unit. But is there anyone that you've identified as a leader out on the court?
Well, Rob, I definitely say that that's the shooting guard, Michael Mitchell. Michael is just a phenomenal player. He can do it from all over the court. He can shoot a 3, he can dribble drive, he can pass off. So yeah, I'd say that he's definitely the key to this team winning ball games. And even in their 4-game losing streak at home, he proved to be a great player, and he proved to keep keep his head up, and the rest of the team seemed to follow him in suit.
Well, Michael Mitchell is just a baller out there, and we can expect more from everyone on that Nelsonville-York team. But for more information on the rest of the TVC, be sure to peruse the rest of the website at woub.org/heroes. Each night we'll have all the latest scores and highlights from around the area, and also check out the site for our mid-range Hero of the Year selections from each team.